Good morning, all of you. So today again, we'll continue with the same conservation of angloterm angular impulse numericals here. Some will focus more on some disk related problems because that are being widely asked in your textbook. So with respect to disk, they're asking plenty of numericals, especially conservation of angular momentum. So let me focus today in that aspect. Okay, now look at this one. A disk of mass m and radius r is rolling on horizontal surface and collides with the inclined surface. Find the maximum height to which the disk ascends on inclined plane. It will collide. So to what height it will, to what maximum height it will ascend. The overall thing is after. Meanwhile, you try. I'll set the diagram. Are you able to see that one? It'll go and collide with the inclined plane, no? Here. So as it collides, what to do now? What will happen during that collision? An impulse will act. So there's the center. An impulse will act. And there'll be also impulse like this. That impulse will not be there this much. Okay, this impulse due to what? Due to collision. It must be there, no? And this is the O. This is the point P. And it will collide at point P1. And that impulse what happen will pass through the line of action, will pass through the center of mass of the disk. Then this is rough. So suddenly what will happen? And this is also having angular velocity. So this particular point, what happens when it goes and collides here, and impulsive friction also will come into picture. So this you write Jn and this is Jf. So this Jf, what it does, a component of Jn will try to change the velocity V naught. Okay, clear this. And this Jn will act normal, not horizontal. This one. So component of Jn cos theta will try to change the linear velocity. Similarly, a Jf, this Jf what happen? Will try to alter the angular velocity. So just after impact, they will have different velocities. V and this omega. They will not have same V naught and omega naught. So why V has changed? In fact, you resolve this. You resolve this V naught. So how you have to resolve? You have to resolve that V naught along the incline. Another is perpendicular to incline. So rough diagram. Let me put. So when it is here, same this when it is here. Ah. Same this, so it will be like this, no? So this will be two components will come, V naught cos theta, another will be V naught sin theta. Okay, agree this. This will be. So what will happen to V naught sin theta? Since E equal to 0 should be nullified by Jn. Fine. So it will have V naught cos theta. So then look at that particular impulses that are acting. So immediately after collision, it will be linear velocity will become V and omega. Who will change omega? The Jf, because the surface is rough here. So he's asking to what height it will ascend further. This is what he's asking us. About what point I should consider angular momentum. So here, let's do one thing. This is mg. I think let me consider angular momentum about P1. No? So P1 is something here, not about P, not about the horizontal ground. About point P1, the angular momentum should be conserved. So how to get that angular momentum? So we have to get into the mathematics here. This is R, this is theta. So this should be theta. If that is theta, come for this. So R, so this will be how much? R cos theta. So what is P1? P1 is at height how much? P1 is R minus R cos theta. R cos theta is what? So that P1, if you draw one more line, so about that P1, what happened? It should be conserved, the angular momentum. So therefore, no, the formula will be LP1Z I LP1Z F. Initial angular momentum mv naught R cos theta plus angular momentum due to rotation motion about center of mass. This should be equal to finally MVR. Why R? OP1? Because about P1, no? After collision. MVR plus IO omega. Pure rolling V naught equal to R omega naught, and no slipping occurs is telling. Substitute this, you'll get V and omega. Then afterwards, what happen? You can apply that one. To what height it will rise. So for that, what you should do? MV square plus I naught omega square equal to MGH. I think definitely you look at the H you should not write directly. I think this equation, if I write it, will you agree? See, I just wanted you to, will you write this much? This will be wrong. See, what is right, what is wrong is what you should understand. This is what correct. Because some energy is lost due to this impact. This impulsive friction will decrease angular velocity, and this Jn what happen will decrease the linear velocity. Because of all that, finally what will happen is like there'll be some loss in kinetic energy is there. So you cannot apply directly from this position to this position to maximum height because some energy is lost here. So therefore, first I'll apply how to calculate the kinetic energy of the disk just after impact. You should consider angular momentum not about P. Sir, why don't you consider about P? If you consider about P, what happens? Impulse due to mg and n will be 0. What about impulse due to this? Will be non-zero. So therefore, angular momentum is considered only about point P1. These are some very good questions. I think some good observation, nothing to do, no mathematics big. You have to be very careful whenever that rigid body comes. Now, same problem I think we have discussed previous classes. We have discussed in different way, no? Same numerical. So I gave a condition of like this. What is the condition? The track will be like this. What is the maximum height to? There's a rough surface. What is the maximum height to which it will rise? So when it starts arriving here, so what will happen? V1, there's omega 1. How the friction will act? The friction must act up the incline. And V1 omega 1 keeps on decreases, and finally what will happen? It come to instantaneous rest. Can you remember? I think we have done this one. In this case, what you should apply? mv naught square plus I naught omega naught square equal to mgh. I think it really matters a lot, no? And v1 less than v naught, omega 1 less than omega. instantaneous rest. Instead of the track, if it is instead of like this curved, no, if it comes like this, a sharp edge, are you seeing a sharp edge? Definitely there'll be impact, and that impact will determine to what height here. So definitely you calculate this edge with that one. So which will be greater. So here what will happen? So definitely this is wrong. I think the wrong one. Okay, fine. At least this one. So in which case it will attain maximum height? In this case or this case, that one. In which case h will be more. This h will be more compared to this h what we calculated. Because some energy is lost here. No? Some energy is lost due to impact. Getting the idea? This will be. Okay, now let me focus on. No, sir, this is smooth. No, you can ask questions. So, like, E is not equal to 0. Then what will happen? The V naught sine theta, what will happen? It may rebound. Chances all that one. So, just to make problem very simple, we have just made V naught cos theta. V naught sine theta will get nullified, in fact, due to E equal to 0. Let's come for. Read the question. I'll erase that answer, sir. In books, we have 2 discs. I just brought the 3 disc problem. Read carefully. Nothing is there. Draw the diagram. Already one diagram is there. Look at the angular velocities. With that, you take a decision. And that all 3 are brought in contact. All they are identical. All 3 discs are identical. So initially diagram is there. Let me go for finally when they come in contact. All there's the axis, no? So just for our consideration. So these are the centers about which the axis will pass through center, that one. Now, what will happen here now? This having velocity VA like this. This having velocity. So VA and what about the velocity of this? VB. And the velocity of this VB, and this is VC. So this what happens. No, velocity of these points we are taking it. We'll do one thing. We'll take 1, 2, 3, 4. Velocity. This is V1. We'll give name V3, and this V4. Now tell me in what direction the friction should act on the disk A. Friction should oppose relative motion. V1 is like this. V12 in what direction? V12 will be upward. So the friction on this disk will be acting in this direction. I'll call this friction as F12. Similarly, what is velocity of point 2 with respect to 1? V21 downward. So the friction on this should act in this direction, F21. In fact, F12 is equal to F21. Similarly, velocity of 3 with respect to 4 will be upward. So the friction here should act like this. So F34. And the magnitudes F34 equal to F43. Okay, this much is there. Now what this friction F12 will do? Will decrease the linear velocity of 1. And what this F21 will decrease linear velocity of this one. And finally what happen? Find the angular velocity of cylinders after they stop slipping. Tell me finally what should happen now? You can expect such questions in exam. It's very simple. I'll definitely, as a teacher, no, I do prefer to ask such questions. In fact, because nothing big we are going to use here. You can see no integration, nothing is there. Okay, let me adjust the diagram. Finally, no slipping is telling. Some rough diagram I put it. Finally, no slipping means what do you expect? What should happen? Finally, I'll suggest like this. Sir, how you can make such a thing? Or initially all were having same angular velocity. Finally, what happened? These are the velocities of the disk A, B, C. And they should not be slipping, no? So finally, what happened? The velocity of one should be equal to velocity of two. In what direction? Both must have same velocity. And these 2 points, 3 and 4, they must have same velocity. Then only no slipping. Then only no slipping idea will come, no? They must have all, since all are having same radius, identical. So I'm going to put same velocity v. Then only no slipping occurs here. Okay, what is our question? Find the angular velocity of cylinders after they stop sliding. Will they have same angular velocity, different angular velocity? I think you look at that one. Velocity of one should be equal to velocity of two, and they're having same radius. The radii is same. So if you look at this, from here, v equal to what you can write? R omega at point 1, velocity of point 1, velocity of point 2. This is also equal to, okay, no. Velocity of point 1 is v. That also v. What is v? R omega A, R omega B. So therefore, omega A equal to omega B. Similarly, magnitudes. Similarly, velocity of point 3 is equal to velocity of point 4. So therefore, what will happen? Omega B should be equal to omega C. Velocity of point 3 should be equal to so therefore what is the conclusion we can make it? Omega A equal to omega B equal to omega C. Modulus, not sign. It's about the modulus. Okay, now finish. Or after this, it's asking how much that magnitude. How to find out? I'll apply angular impulse, angular momentum equation because I think that's the only thing which is available, which is going to help us a lot. What is angular impulse, angular momentum equation? No, let me take this one. What was the initial angular velocity? It was omega, no? And finally it has become omega A. And is there any angular impulse acted? Yes, the friction. So if these frictions also, will they be equal? Will they be equal? Let's see that. I think I'll show complete numerical. Yeah, let's write equations now. Initially for the disk A, I omega minus F12 R delta T should be equal to I omega A. This is for disk A. Now similarly for disk B you write it. Disk B, what happened? What was the initial angular momentum of that? Anti-clockwise, anti-clockwise, and how the torque acted? F12 only I'll write it. Should be equal to, and finally it has acquired opposite to that one, minus I omega B. Similarly for disk 3 we'll write it. Is that sign okay? I omega. No, for the disk C, I omega. In what direction the torque is acting on it? Anti-clockwise, minus F43. What is the direction of it? Okay, yeah, didn't change. Okay, we have this much. What to do after this? And F12 is equal to, okay, no, no, I'll take care of that one. Huh? I didn't see that. For this B, let me do correction. So initial I omega minus F12 R delta T minus F34 R delta T. Try to see once. This torque F21 into R and F34 into R. Both will set up anti-clockwise torque. Initial angular momentum was anti-clockwise. The angular impulse was clockwise. So initial angular momentum is what I'm taking positive. And finally what happen? It will have the clockwise angular momentum. Look at this one. So I do have. So we know F12 is equal to F21 and F34 equal to F43. So what earlier I wrote. Okay, let me write symbol. This will be much easier. So three equations are there. Adding all these three equations and omega equal to omega B equal to omega C. So let it be equal to say some omega naught. I'll write it. Let me slide down. No. Shall we add up all these three equations? 1, 2, 3. Adding up this, I omega is equal to I omega plus omega b plus omega c. So this should be equal to, say I did all calculations check once. So what is omega naught? Is omega by 3. This would be final angular momentum. Okay, now is it angular momentum of individual disk is conserved? No, there the angular impulse is acting. No, so therefore angular momentum of none of the disk is conserved. In books you have 2 disks. I just brought for 3 disks here. You can apply for any number of disks, no problem. So what is the next part? Can you use principle of conservation of angular momentum to analyze the situation? Answer is no, because on each and every disk there is an angular impulse is acting. So therefore the answer will be no. Now what is the final answer? Omega A will be anti-clockwise, omega B will be clockwise, omega C will be anti-clockwise. This will be our final answers. In exams can be asked, you have to be very alert with such small numericals. I'll scroll down, see once. Come for. Read the question, read the question. I will push it aside here. Yeah. It's all about you have to make observation of the diagram, no? Nothing to do with much. How keenly you observe the diagram, that will help you a lot. See, in the books, the information will be this much only. Even sometimes it will be very difficult to understand the situation, but the way of asking questions are like this one. I think better to get habituated to things, no, rather than with fighting with issues. What actually happens here now? Initially, this is a test. After it passes, here I think I'll give the diagram. Let me wind up the problem here only, instead of drawing so many things. The block will be, and the disk, it will acquire angular velocity, and the block is having v2. Why do it will rotate? So let's do one thing. When the block is in contact, what is the velocity of the block? Will be like this, v1. So there will be a friction will act, no, and this friction will act also on the disk. So the friction acting on the disk, what it does, and for what time the block will pass on this one, on this cylinder. For what time? For small duration of time, no. So for small duration of time, what will happen? A friction will act here. That F into R will be torque. The torque will act for small duration of time. Some angular impulse will act on the disk also. And because of that, the disk will acquire this angular velocity. But okay, fine, everything is fine. Okay, so like F into delta T is what we should write here. Then F into delta T will become impulse. That impulse into capital R will become angular impulse. Now how to do the problem? Because what is the question asked? With velocity v2 equal to find the value of beta. About what point I should conserve angular momentum? About 0.2. Why about point O only? Because about point O, what is the net torque? F into R minus F into R. I'm asking you to look at here. F into R on the disk clockwise. F into R will be anti-clockwise on the block. So for the blocked disk about O, the net angular impulse will be 0. So therefore, LOZI equal to LOZF about an axis passing through O perpendicular to plane of the disk. So what is the initial angular momentum? mv1r. Final angular momentum mv2r. Finally, mr square So substitute this next mr square by 2 into omega. Initial velocity is v1 is v naught. No, let me substitute that v naught. What is omega? Omega should be v2 by r. So from where you are writing this? I think what is the velocity of the what is the velocity of the block? There should be the velocity of tangential velocity. Just when it is about to leave, when the block is about to leave, the velocity of the block should be the tangential velocity of the disk. So from there is what I'm introducing this one here. So this will be m v naught r. So finally, v naught should be equal to 3v2, 3v2 by 2. Very nice numerical. This v2 equal to r omega, the reason for that, when it is about to leave the disk, what is the velocity of this point? Velocity of this point should be equal to velocity of the okay, we'll write some v. I think this is enough, no? So v2 is equal to r omega because they're in contact. v2 is tangential velocity of the disk. Okay, see once I'll scroll down. Is there any loss in kinetic energy? Yes, it will be there. No, calculate initial final. Kf will be in fact less than ki. That will convert it into heat. Delta K will be heat generated. Where? At the surface as well as the disk. I'll scroll down. No, one more. Carefully analyze. So he is asking now a bullet of mass m moving with a velocity just grazes the top of cylinder of mass m and it is on after embed in the cylinder after impact and the cylinder rolls without slipping. Find the angular velocity of cylinder and the final velocity of the bullet. In exam, these things will be very conservation of angular momentum. You have to be very careful because any ideas can be introduced here. And this is the initial M1, I'll write it. And this M2, initially it's a test. Then finally what will happen? The bullets get embedded, grazes and gets embedded. Embedded means I will just show it here. No, what should happen? Assume that the cylinder rolls without slipping. Rolls without slipping means what I should assume? Immediately after that, it will have linear velocity and angular velocity. About what point I should conserve angular momentum? And it was at rest, no? Let this be rough. Now, what point you are going to conserve the angular momentum? This is a very best problem. Let's see how student will. Say it is at rest, starts moving, no? Who will make it to move? The impulse. At the same time, that impulse will set up. So shall we apply the angular momentum about O or about P? I'll apply about P. Now you have to justify, sir, why only about there. So initial angular momentum m1u 2r is equal to final angular momentum m1. What is the velocity of the embedded bullet? V plus r omega. Then angular momentum due to velocity of center of mass m2 vr plus angular momentum due to rotating motion. This is of total bullet plus this one. Individually, I'm writing it. And for pure rolling, V equal to R omega. I think problem solved. So why you are conserving this? Why not about any other point? Anybody wants to give a reason? Why not about O? There'll be friction will act here, no? At the point P. For small duration of friction will act here. So to overcome that, what happened? We are conserving angular momentum about P. About O, it is not conserved. Because there's a rough, no? There'll be friction will be acting for small duration of time. There'll be an impulse due to this friction will act here. So that friction weapon will not permit you to conserve about O. It should be conserved about P only. Or you can directly write, what is that? Since it's telling rolling, no, so therefore I just split it up this one. This is for the disk. What is I naught? I naught will be mr square by 2. M2, M1 means small m, M2 means capital M. The symbols, we are just change it for convenient. This is for bullet. Okay, we'll do this one here. I think complete diagram is visible. Read the question. A disk of mass m and radius r is moving on a smooth horizontal surface with flat circular face on the surface. It is spinning about its center with angular speed omega and has a velocity v. It just managed to hit a stick AB at its end A. The stick was lying free on the surface and stick to the disk. The combined object becomes like a badminton racket. Mass and length of the stick are m and 2r. Calculate the angular speed of the combined object assuming v equal to r omega. Okay, now earlier we just took only bullet something. No, two rigid bodies, they're going to collide and they're going to get stuck. length is 2r, and this is of mass m. Both are of same mass, no? I think, yeah, fine. This is the radius r, v and omega. No, they're going to collide. Is that okay, no? So it will become like a badminton. I don't know what will happen afterwards. That's what we have to do. So this is O1, you write it, O2, O1 and O2. Mass of this is m, and this was that particular point. Just make observation of diagram. I think you can manage very comfortably. So this will become now a racket, no? Stilling. And it's a rigid body now. The disc plus rod is a rigid body. And what is the property of center of mass? What is the property of rigid body? Set free to rotate, it will rotate about center of mass. Where do center of mass of this racket will come? Where the center of mass of this racket? This is mass m and radius r. Mass m and length is how much? This is r and r, no? So where the center of mass of system will come? Center of mass of system will come here. I'm showing C. This is the center of mass. What is C? C is the what is the property of rigid body? Set free to rotate. You look at the disk. Why it is rotating about O1? There's a property of rigid body. If you set free to rotate, rotate about center of mass. No, the disc plus rod, when they collide, they'll become a racket. They'll become rigid body. So at what point they'll rotate? They'll rotate about the center of mass. See that one. So why not O1? It's not a center of mass of system. Why not O2? Not center of mass of system. Sir, I'll make the mass of the disk 2m. Then this is m. Then the center of mass will shift here, will somewhere here. Then it will rotate about that particular point. Okay, got this? Irrespective of that one. Definitely open the center of mass should lie between O and O2. So where the center of mass lies, about that point it will rotate. Sir, I'll make 2m. Then center of mass will come here. Then will it rotate about this point? Yes, it will rotate. So this, can it rotate about such a point? Yes, it can happen. See, that's what. Be ready for only this one. So the problem I could have made little bit more complicated, so you'll get confused. That's why I just took m and m. So if I make this is 2m, this is m, the center of mass will be here. It will rotate about this. Getting the idea? So don't compromise. The rigid body must rotate when set free to it, should rotate about center of mass. I'll take it out this. No, come for this one. So this will have velocity Vc and omega c. We'll apply conservation of angular momentum about point C and we'll write the equation. LCIZ, LCZI equal to LCZF. Initial angular momentum. So this is what that C will come here, no? So then due to translative motion, MVR, due to rotating motion, I naught omega. I think you have to be careful. The rigid body is not rotating about C. About what point it is rotating? It is rotating about, its own center. So this is a conservation of angular momentum formula. So then equal to, then what you're going to write? IC omega. IC what? Moment of inertia of the total rod plus disk it is. Plus center of mass of the system, 2m Vc. Okay. Yeah, not needed, no? This much only. Now what is IC? We'll calculate separately. What is IC? Moment of inertia of the disk, I naught plus mr square plus that of the rod, m 2r whole square by 12 plus m into r square. Able to manage? What is moment of inertia of the disk about axis passing points? The parallaxis theorem, IO1. I'll write equations clearly because there's a concept. No? The moment of inertia calculation is what a concept. So I see what it is equal to IO1 plus mr square plus IO2 mr square. What is IO1? Moment of inertia of disk about its own axis. Substitute that, you'll get IC. And V quote R omega is given. And what is I naught? I naught is IO1. Okay, I think already I written, no? Yeah. Very small thinking, nothing to do. Now with this what will happen? We'll get the omega C. But sir, how to get VC? Still the problem is not at all, no? How to get that VC part? Applying conservation of linear momentum. Initial momentum, MV, final momentum, MVC plus MVC. Or 2mVC you write it. Total mass of this one. So VC equal to V by 2. So all this you'll get the omega C. Okay, agreed? Okay, now after getting it, is asking calculate loss in kinetic energy. How to calculate loss in kinetic energy? Initial kinetic energy we know. So initial kinetic energy will be final kinetic energy IC omega C square by 2 plus 2m VC square by 2. Kf will be less than Ki. Where do this energy gone? Anybody answers? Where do this energy gone? Yes, due to that impact, no? Because when it is injured, energy will be lost in most of the cases. I gave one problem where suddenly injured, there was no loss in energy. Yes, it happens. But here what happened? Due to sudden inch in the sense what happened, they get stuck, no? So because of that happen, there'll be some energy will be lost. Why is energy lost? Because like some sort of like when it gets stuck, what will happen? Sir, what will happen that energy will convert into heat. That's all. Because they are rigid, no? So no question of deformation. So it should be converted into heat. So where do this delta K will? So delta K converted as heat. If V equal to eta or omega, so he's asking that one. So kinetic energy is minimum, find eta. So you should differentiate this, huh? Work out it's a mathematics one. I'll upload the answers later on. Now, intentionally I brought it. This instead of rod, another disc come. Let it be. Any other rigid body. Okay, finish over. Sir, even the rod is moving. Let it be that one. No problem. Take the next one. Some spring will bring it. Huh? Till now, I think we didn't brought the spring idea. Carefully read the question. Protrusion, protrusion. Sorry, this protrusion means if there's a disc, some small edge, nothing. Still, it's a negligible mass will be protruded. That one, protrusion we call it, or what you can say some edge. This is what protrusion. It's a technical word. So just a small edge erupted outside the disk, it can happen there. Or you just do one thing, take a disk, put one nail, that nail is called as a protrusion. I think in books, no, you have no protruce. What do you mean protruce? Don't become like a haddin kebab, they say, no, means don't interfere. What is a protruce? Interfering in others' matter. It's protrusing, they say. Protrusion means some just some edge came out. Or do one thing, disc and put one nail. That nail is called as protrused. Okay, now like this is what two protrudes are there. I think I can't give this a 3D diagram. So better try to assume the situation, convert that into plain diagram and analyze. So if I give the find the maximum compression of the spring. This particular protrusion, uh, let me call edge, this particular thing. Draw the diagrams, some small diagrams. So protrusion we are unable to edge, or some bulge is okay, no? I think bulge, at least bulge means like a small, like the disc when it is designed, no, it will have some bulge like this. Or disc you take it, put one nail, finish out. Disc bulge we say, no, spinal cord. So the medical term is what protrusions, like when the disc is what happen is not a like a, some unwanted growth will come like this, that will become a protrusion. And if you take the nerve, there's a main spinal nerve, no, and the disc which is present here, it should be like this. So due to some problems what happen, the disc what happen will grow like this. When the disc grows here, what it will do, it will block some signals, and it will there's a spinal nerve, this called like a disc, this one, this called like a bulge, disc bulge we say. Actually the normal disc should be like this, it should be near, it will support it. This is a disc. Then what will happen is, the disc what happens, some calcium will grow here, and what you do, it will go and pierce the spinal nerve, and here the nerves what happen, the spinal nerves, some of the nerves will not work out. Because of that what happen, we'll say like a disc bulge, and we'll get a severe backbone pain, and persons are unable to walk. There's a disc bulge, or medical term is called a protrusion. I think is asking that one. It's a bulge here. I think okay. I explained the term. I think nothing to do with there's a spring. There's a spring. Spring is here. Okay, I think problem with the diagram. Huh? I'll draw some. correct diagram then. Okay, good question. Where is the spring? Okay, I have to show spring, even 3D diagram. Yeah, we'll try. Okay, fine. I think really I do a very good diagram. Omega naught spring. This is spring relaxed. At least now there's a bulge. And some colors will give it here. Very fast. I think I gave diagram. Please get into at least now the question. The spring will be connected to this bulge, this particular nail, or you can call them as nail. No, at least I think with the help of diagram, you should get into the problem. This is a test, no, initially, this is a test. This will come and starts colliding with it. So as it starts spinning, the point P1 now will come in contact with the free end of the spring. This bulge, I think, will give the name. This is A and B. The nail, better you call nail A, what happen when it comes in contact with the free end of the spring. And this is a rest, no? So it starts compressing the spring. Then how the spring force will act on the nail A towards left, and on the nail B towards right. So what will happen to the disc B? The disc B also starts rotating. So with this, what will happen? The spring force acting on the nail A, or the protrusion A. So what it does, it will set up a torque, and that torque, what it does, it will decrease the angular velocity of A and will increase the angular velocity of B. At one instant, what will happen? Both the ends, both are having same angular velocity, then both the ends of the spring will have same velocity, then the compression will be maximum. At maximum compression elongation, both the ends must have same velocity. I'll give some very good. This is for our understanding. In fact, they are not like this. They are not like this. Please do understand. They are not like this. Again, don't scold me, sir. Why you are drawing this? Only to understand the problem. So this is the. Okay, now we'll proceed like this. And to this, a spring is connected. I'll show like this. Small spring it is. Okay, now the moment this nail comes in contact with the free end of the spring, it's a very small spring, so it starts compressing, no? So what will happen next? Next, we'll get a situation of like this, where the spring will be there. Just to make you understand, because in fact, they should be one upon the other, no? So spring force, how it will act here on the nail A like this, on the nail B like this. This was having angular velocity how much? Omega. What do we expect now? This spring force will set up a torque about this. And that torque, what it does, will decrease the angular velocity of this. So let me take somewhere omega 1. And because of spring force acting, it will set up torque about this point, about its midpoint. So about what point the torque will be acting about O1 and O2. This for your understanding purpose, nothing to do with the problem, just a logical thinking. So what should happen to this spring force will set up torque, no? R, Kx, R bar, F bar. So this will acquire angular velocity omega 2. Like that, as long as what will happen to spring will continuously it's getting compressed. And meanwhile, what will happen? Velocity of the tangential velocity of nail A decreases, whereas the tangential velocity of B will be increasing. And omega 1, in fact, will be less than omega. And omega 2 keep on increases. At one instant of time, so what happen? The spring will have maximum compression. And at maximum compression, both the ends must have common velocity. Both ends must have common velocity. So let's get into the real part of the problem. So the spring is compressed. To show that spring, in fact, the spring should not be visible. We have to draw, but to make it visible, I'm putting this one. So now what is this? KXM maximum compression. KXM. Then they'll have velocity. Now what is the velocity of this? Omega. Initially was omega naught, no? Now angular velocity will be, this will be omega. Then velocity of this, how much will be V? The velocity of this also will be V. Tangential velocity. At maximum compression, both the ends must have common velocity. This is what happens. Then both must have same angular velocity. Agreed this? So now what is the net torque acting on system? About common center. O1, O2, if you see from the top, actually what happened, O1, O2 will be on the same line. To make you understand, I brought it here. Again, don't get confused here. So definitely what happened, both will have common velocity. I'll conserve angular momentum about this axis. Conservation of angular momentum about axis. What is initial angular momentum? I01 omega naught. Final angular momentum I01 omega, I02 omega. Both are identical disks. No? So in fact, I01 equal to I02 equal to IO, which is equal to mr square by 2. Actually, as a teacher, I should not show. You're supposed to imagine, but to make you think, I brought like this, because otherwise I can't show in any way this one. Or in this particular diagram, what you have to show, finally both will attain common angular velocity. And the spring will be compressed. This will be, and what about the spring force here? Tangential force, KXM. Here it will be kxm, and both will be rotating with this one. And what is the tangential velocity of this point? Will be v. Tangential velocity of this point also v. This what happens. Agreed? This, so applying conservation of angular momentum. That's what I did here. So it's above the common center. I think we will get omega with this. What is omega equal to? It should be omega naught, since IO1 equal to IO2, no? So therefore omega naught equal to 2 omega. Okay, let's get into the other thing. And now it's asking find the maximum compression of the spring. He didn't ask this omega. So did what the spring. Now what was the initial kinetic energy? I naught initial kinetic energy we know, and final kinetic energy and elastic potential of spring. So applying the initial kind like a I naught omega square by 2, I naught 1 omega square by 2, I naught 2 omega square by 2 plus k xm square. So we'll get the maximum compression in the spring. Solving these two, we'll get the required answer. So the value of xm, I'll write it here. Radius of that is smaller or capital R? Small r is given. No. So final answer will be R omega naught by 2 m by k. This will be your final answer. Just you have to keep on solve, nothing else in there. Okay, fine. Now, find the angular velocity of the upper and the lower disc when the spring becomes relaxed. What will happen again? Really, I think is asking now further what will happen. Again, when the why spring will become relaxed, I think it should be a periodic. No, already we have discussed. So first, what will happen? Natural length, compression, maximum compression. Then compression decreases. Then it will attain natural length. At natural length, what conditions will arise? So it will take some time. So for what time the spring force will act on the disc 1, for the same time the spring force will act also on the disc 2, no? So again at natural length, we'll go for conservation of kinetic energy principle, conservation of energy principle. When the spring is at natural length, what is the state of spring? Spring is at natural length. Spring is relaxed. What is the energy of system? Only rotational kinetic energy of one of the disc. Again, when that is natural length, it should have only rotational kinetic energy of one of the disc. So what should happen to the disc 1 should come to rest here. Again, when it comes to natural length. And the disc 2 what happens should move with the angular velocity omega naught. So this is as good as problem of what? Okay, now you answer it. What actually happens here? First, compression. I think I'm just explaining logically here. This will be compression, then maximum compression. Then again compression. And finally what happens? It will attain natural length. When it attains natural length, this will move with a velocity v0 and this will be at rest. Will I agree? If you say S, then I'll say that similar thing happens here. Here is what? Maximum compression. Because energy must be conserved, no? Because spring force is what? Conservative force. So what was the earlier energy should be equal to final energy. So if there's a disk block A, block B, finally what will happen? There's a condition will arise. Will I agree this? The same thing happens here. So the torque acting on by the spring force will retard the angular velocity will retard the motion of the disc one. The torque acting due to spring force will accelerate the velocity or angular velocity of the disc two. Finally, again it attains natural length. The disc one will be attached. The disc A will be attached. The disc B will move with angular velocity omega naught. Find angular velocity of upper and lower disc when the spring becomes relaxed. Upper disc how much? Omega A is 0. Omega B will be omega. Because already we have some concept that we are applying it here.
Sir, sir, omega B will be omega naught.
What is symbol I took, ma? Okay, omega naught. Yeah, we'll
okay.
Change it. Huh? Okay, fine. So all these are something related to conservation of angular momentum. These diagrams are really to make you think. So I'm making clear. So how that particular thing. Just I'm showing separately the disk A and disk B. But O1 and O2 they are actually coaxial. I'm showing separate to make you understand. Huh? Okay, let's come to the next one. No, okay, after this. So let's take some problems of the disk only. Few more are there. A person walking on a disk, I think, okay, I not covered it. Let me. This get disk of mass M2 and there's a person of mass M1. He will walk on the periphery of the disk here. He will walk on the periphery of the disk. The disk is kept on smooth surface. This is O and it is rough. So what is the question? The person of mass M1 walks on periphery of a circular disk of mass M2. Find the angular displacement of disk when person moves or when person moves a quarter length on the disk, quarter length with respect to disk, you write it. Quarter length means you will have an angular displacement of pi by 2 radian with respect to disk. Find the angular displacement of disk when person, okay, I think quarter length will get confused. Different books, different way they're telling displacement of this when person is having quarter will be how much? Pi by 2 here. Radians, angular displacement with respect to this. Or when he walks a distance of how much? Pi r by 2. 2 pi r is what? Periphery. Pi r will be half of the circumference. Then pi r by 2. When he walks a distance of pi r by 2 with respect to disk. They may trouble you like this also. Here I give when a person is having pi by 2 radians angular with respect to disk or walks pi r by 2 distance with respect to the disk. I think both are one of the same. The disk is hinged above the axis. It is only free to rotate. The disk is only made to rotate. How to do this problem now? So what is this problem? So to what you should relate? You should try to relate this to what? Person walking on a plank, center of mass. When a person moves from one end to another end, what is the displacement of plank? Same approach is what we are bringing here. There it was linear momentum considered, here angular momentum is considered. So when a person walks here, I think I'll give the plain diagram. Or when a person walks here, friction will act like this, and the friction on the disk will act here. So then about 0.0, what is the net torque? Will be zero, no? F into R. What is this F? The friction acting on the person when he walks. So he will move along the periphery, no? So let me go for one plain diagram. These are the questions which you are supposed to have imagination. No? So there's a person. I'm showing the top view. So he will have angular displacement theta r like this. Then the friction, how friction will act in this direction. Then on the disk, you have to show like this here. This is radius r, no? One problem, I think you have some some around 8 numericals are there, not 1, 2. All that 8 numericals at a stretch. You can manage with this idea. What is this F? There are two F's are there. One F is, this F is friction on the disk. What is this F? Friction on the person. It's not a blocker. I think, please do understand. And what is theta? Displacement of the person with respect to the disk here. And now, because of this friction, tell me in what direction the disk will rotate. The disk will rotate in anti-clockwise. Theta 2. And the angular displacement of person, theta with respect to ground. This is a ground, no? It's a smooth. Okay, now what is our question? What is the angular displacement of the disk is asking? So we'll do one thing. Theta r is equal to theta 1 minus theta 2. What is theta r? Theta r, anything clockwise, I'll take it positive. This is positive. I don't know the angular displacement of person. Delta T1, I'll write it. And let it be towards right, this one. And that of the disk, what happened will be opposite, no? And substituting with sign. So this will be delta r minus delta theta 2 equal to delta T1. Okay, let's come for that. What is the net torque acting on system about O? Will be 0. So therefore, as the net torque is 0, therefore the angular momentum should be conserved. So, but sir, we don't have angular displacement we have. I think the same formula we can write it. Initial angular momentum about axis passing through. Final angular momentum about axis passing through. Initial angular momentum. The person and the disk are at rest initially. As the person starts walking on the periphery, the disk will start rotating. So therefore, this should be moment of inertia of the person I1 into delta theta 1 by delta t. Because you will have a displacement, angular displacement by time, that nothing but angular velocity it will be, plus this will be I2. Negative sign, I'll put it. Why negative sign? Why negative sign? Because the angular momentum of the disk is anti-clockwise. Or if you are getting confusion, do like this. So this will be 0 equal to I1 delta T1 minus I2 delta T2. So what is the angular displacement of the person that we have just brought it, no? So same thing, no? Just like what all ideas we are, no? We are just utilizing it in systematic way, nothing big. Okay, let's substitute all one. What is moment of inertia of the person? M1 R square. Delta theta 1. theta r minus delta t2, moment of inertia of the disk, m2 r square by 2 delta t2. So this will become equal to m1 r square theta r two m1 theta r by 2m1 plus m2. Theta r is what? Angular displacement. How much it was? It was pi by 2, no? Substitute that, you get 1. So what is theta r? Pi by 2. Angular displacement of person with respect to this. The same ideas, nothing big new, nothing new. To be frank, already we have discussed this linear displacement it had. Now what happened? We are discussing for angular displacement. One person. If the two persons are there, okay, now work out for two persons. Okay, I agree this now. So we'll slightly change this problem. Instead of moving slowly on the ferry, let him run with the speed you are. The person, let him run. Then what conditions will come? Okay, I'm going to scroll down. Let's make the person to run. I'll give all the corresponding diagrams. Take this one. These topics are where you have to, the diagrams will not help you, the 3D diagrams, all that one. No? So please do, even in books, what happen, they may not help you much with the diagrams. So try to have that imagination, circular disk you are standing. If the surface of the disk is rough, then only can walk, no otherwise not possible. So a person of mass m1 is running with a speed ur relative to the disk along the periphery. Find the angular velocity of the disk. Okay, now get into the problem. Just now we discussed angular displacement. Now let him run. So if you're getting confusion, convert that into plane diagram. You are seeing from the top. If you view from the top, this is the O, no? This is the axis. There's a radius R. There's a person. Is having velocity UR and velocity will be V1. The disk don't show V2 or if you want to show V2 or let me write omega 2, that's all. And this particular point tangential velocity will be V2. V2 of what? V2 of the disk. Tangential velocity. No. Directly getting to conservation of linear momentum. What is UR? UR is equal to V1 minus of minus V2. No? If I take this direction positive. So UR minus V2 equal to V1. This much is what we have. How to What is V2 further? R omega 2. Agree this one. Okay, how to what to write here? No, net torque will be zero, no, because how the friction will act. The friction on the person will act like this. On the disk, it will be like this. Huh? So net torque about O will be zero. Then applying conservation of angular momentum. LOZI equal to LOZF. Initially, person and the disk are at rest. Then the person starts running. So initial angular momentum is zero. Final angular momentum M1 V1R, that of the person, minus IO omega 2. So if you are, so what is the sign I'm not getting? At least I think you can clockwise. And what about this? Anti-clockwise. So 0 equal to M1 V1R minus moment of inertia of the disk M2 R square by 2 omega 2. V1 we don't know, that I'll substitute here. So this will be M1 UR minus R omega 1 M1 UR is equal to M1 omega 1 square R omega 2. M1 R square omega 2 plus M2 R square by 2 omega 2. M1 U1 R by M1 R plus M2 R by 2. Fine. So this will be the angular velocity of this one. Okay, now I'll ask you one thing. When the system was at rest, person and the disk were at rest, no? Then they start moving. The person is having kinetic energy. The disk is having kinetic. From where this energy will come? From where this energy will come? So some external agent will give. Where is the external agent? Person and the disk are there, no? Where from where the external agents are there? Nothing. Sir, axis will give. Why axis will give? By the axis, I'm writing fixed axis. I think everyone should know that one. The disk is not permitted to undergo any linear displacement. Fixed axis here. It can only rotate about that axis. And now tell me like from where that kinetic energy will come. The work done by the person. The decrease in its mechanical energy. Its physical strength will decrease. Where it will go? It will get converted into increase in its kinetic energy plus rotational kinetic energy of the disk. They may trouble you with these things. Huh? The decrease in mechanical energy of the person, or nothing but the decrease in muscle energy of the person should be equal to increase in kinetic energy of the person plus increase in kinetic energy of the disk. Okay, person is there now is running and you'll make a jump. I think in SC Verma you're having some series of problems like this. Some around 4 numericals are there. So just try to V2 is a tangential velocity. Huh? V2 is a tangential velocity of the disk. I should come from here. This is the idea. From here is what I should enter. So for that I need tangential velocity. Tangential is what? R omega 2. I think problems are very simple, but lot of thinking is needed. You should understand the diagram very clearly. I think we can manage situation. Let me give one more here only. The disk one. I'll give one more situation. Okay, there's a disk of a disk of mass m, m1, m2, and radius r is kept on smooth horizontal surface. A block of mass m1 is connected to the disk by a string as shown. Okay, this is a string. The block is projected tangential to the disk with a velocity u. Find the angular velocity of the disk. Oh, question has become when string becomes taut. No, what is the disk? Disk is hinged here. What is this everything? So it is able to understand. This is, I think I'm just showing a diagram like this. And O is a inch. Inch means understood. It can only rotate, no? String is what happen? It's just connected to this particular, and initially string is loose, you can see like. Go back to where do we have come across such numericals? Impulse idea, impulsive string. So to in a after collision we have discussed no impulsive tension. There I think we have come across situations of like this. The same ideas we are trying to implement here. As the block starts moving, at one instant the string will become taut. No, the moment it becomes taut, an impulse will act, and similarly an impulse will also set up. That impulse or pen will set up angular impulse about O, and it will make it to rotate. And similarly, that impulse, what it do? It will make this particular to have momentum. It will change the momentum of this. So finally, what we see is like this is a disk. String becomes taut, no? So I'll show a little bit position like this here. Then impulse is set up. JT. Because of that impulse, it will acquire velocity V. At the same time, this impulse, what it will do? JT into R will set up angular impulse and it will make it to rotate. It's a O is a inch. I think able to understand inch means it can rotate only about O, that one. Fixed about O. Or the disk will rotate about an axis passing through and perpendicular to plane. How to do this problem? Is asking find the angular velocity of the disk. About what point I should conserve angular momentum? About point O. Why about point O only? Because this JT impulse, JT what it does, it will try to also pull the disk. And because of that what happen, there'll be like the inch what happen, there'll be impulse will act here. On what action? The impulse will act in this direction. I to show that impulse, red color I'll show it. And this is the impulse, this one. By the inch on the disk. Why J naught? Because the JT what will happen will try to pull the disk towards right. See, sir, it will make it to rotate. Yes, it will make it to rotate, and also it will make it to move. Altogether, two things are there, no? If this is, the disk is free to move, what happens? This JT, what it do? It will set up angular impulse and also linear impulse. Due to linear impulse, will try to move. So the hinge will not permit, so J naught will act here. Now tell me, can you consider angular momentum about this? No. About this point? No. Or about this point? No. About O only. So I should consider angular momentum about O. So therefore, the idea of hinge is very important, because every numerical I was stressing you that hinge, no, the reaction at the hinge. Okay, I think let's get into the calculation part. So LOZ I equal to LOZF. So what is initial angular momentum? MUR clockwise. Final angular momentum MVR clockwise plus I naught omega clockwise. Now this is a string. So velocity of this point P should be equal to Vp should be equal to V. Why? Because this is a string, no? The string has become tout. Find the angular velocity of the disk when the string becomes just tout. We are, the moment it has become tout, we are discussing that one. So Vp equal to V. At the same time, what is Vp equal to? R omega. So velocity of the point P and velocity of the block should be equal, no? Because the string should be inextensible. So I'll substitute that, I'll get the value. So what is I naught? Mr square by 2. Okay, these are objective. Definitely the advanced processors will try to ask, instead of asking something math based, no, they will test students like how good he is. The J naught is what you have to show. Huh? It's a very important. You have to show like this. That's why angular momentum is considered about O. Okay, now there's one very good question I picked up. It's asking find the impulsive reaction at A in horizontal direction. Please read carefully. The particle is brought to rest after impact. So what actually happens here is, see, rotation mechanics, I'm telling this one, it's a never ending topic. I can just keep on discuss numericals. There's no end for it. And we know all the concepts. So already we know. Suddenly I brought it how much of impulse at the inch. So like this what happen, these are not concepts, situations. Like this what happen, you get a plenty of situations. I can drag you to wherever I want. Contentless students will not develop the general idea. Not possible. Means according to me, you know already everything. It's not something new concept. I am not discussing anything new. Today, what all I discuss problem, already we know it. Impulse we know, angular impulse we know, momentum we know, angular momentum we know, torque we know, force we know. That's all we applied it. So this is what happens in rigid body. Ideas are very less, means concepts are very less, but the application part becomes very wide. And the particle is exactly at the midpoint. Sir, then what is the remedy, sir, for this? What is the remedy? Remedy in the sense, the more general idea, the more general information, if you know, after collision, the particle is brought to rest. I think this much is what we have. The particle has come to rest here. Keep it here. This is the velocity of center of mass. This is a point P. What is our question? Finally, what is asking? That impulse at the inch, the inch, horizontal impulse. And just after impact, what will happen to rod? So don't bother. Say, leave the question. What happened to rod? Will rotate, no? Sir, how the weight will act? In fact, let me get you into the problem, G will act here. You don't bother anything question. After impact, what will happen to the rod? Will rotate, as we know. Okay, let's go for rotate. We'll calculate that omega first. How to calculate that omega? How to calculate that omega? How to calculate that omega means conservation of angular momentum. Why only conservation of angular momentum? About the hinge only. Now let me go for during collision. This is what happens, no? Here, an impulse on the rod J1, the impulse on the particle. Then there'll be impulse at the hinge, impulse by the hinge on the rod. So in what direction you are assuming? So let me assume any direction. I'll solve it. Hinge, I'll write. Shall I write JH? Impulse by the hinge on the rod. I think towards left. It should be towards left. The rod wants to move. Why the rod will move? Because of J1, it wants to move. You see, it's quite very simple. No, the hinge will not permit JH. Say you do one thing very simple. You take pen, hold it at one end, with other hold it with your hand. You try to push it. So it is like this. What I'm discussing is of this one. I'll push it. So what this pen, it actually it wants to move. No, it wants to move. So my fingers in what direction will my fingers, thumb and pointing finger. So now you see that one. So the pen actually wants to move, but because of hinge, it can only rotate. Getting the idea here? So now what happened if these fingers were not there? What happened? You would have moved like this, no? So tell me, like my fingers, this one fingers. I think I have 10, but look at the one which I holding the pen. So these fingers, what happened? In what direction the exert force on the pen will be in this direction? It wants to move, so therefore these fingers will exert force in this direction. I think you can experience this. Nothing big. Okay, let's get into the calculation part. Now, first we'll get the omega. About what point I should consider? About H only, or select about the point P. LPZI equal to LPZF. I think this everyone knows by this time. What is the length? MVL by 2. Length of the rod, L by 2, should be equal to IP omega. And the particle has come to rest. The particle has come to rest. So therefore, angular particle will be 0. So this will be MVL by 2, ML square by 3 omega. Omega equal to how much? 3V by 2L. And what is the sense? This will be, it will be anti-clockwise. Okay, now we got it. How to bring that impulse again? Will there be any velocity of center of mass? Will be there? There will be velocity of center of mass. So the center of mass will have velocity. How much it is? VC. So the effect of impulse is such that VC. What is VC is equal to? L by 2 omega. At that instant, we are discussing everything at that instant. So L by 2, 3V by 2L. So 3V by 4, velocity of center of mass. Then from where that velocity is, is it only due to J1 or due to J1 minus H? J1 minus H. So this will be J1 minus JH equal to MVC with respect to center of mass. For motion of center of mass. Okay, now VC, I know it. Somehow if I can get J1 problem solved, from where to bring J1, I look at the particle, on particle. On particle. Now, what is the initial momentum? MV. Why did it has come to rest? Because of impulse J1. Is it okay? I'm showing all things clearly. And finally, it has come to rest. So what is J1 equal to MV? So this is equation 1. 1, 2, and 3. Let me use 1, 2, 3, 4. From 1, 2, and 3. J1 is equal to how much? MV, JH, M, 3V by 4. So what is the impulse? MV by 4. I got positive. I got positive. What does it mean? What I assumed is correct. The impulse by the hinge on the rod will be towards left. It will be, what is this? By the hinge on the rod. Getting some methodology here. So all these problems, what happen? You are got adjusted to what, like some situation, apply some concept, some formula. I think here is what you have to really think in some alternative methods. This is what I shown for what rod. Now I will suspend a disc. Then I will suspend a triangular plate. I'll suspend a cone. Finish over. So what all we studied for rod, you should extend for any other rigid body. All this not there much in most of the books here, but possibility of asking in advance. The reaction. That's why I think from the talk when we started, no, from there only I started pulling up, no, the hinge reaction at the hinge, reaction at the hinge. That one. So always whenever a rigid body is suspended, think about the reaction at the hinge, because that is the core central idea. So that's why the angular momentum is not considered because of JH acting. That's why angular momentum is not considered about center of mass of the rod or about any one line because of this JH. Suppose since a particle will not come to rest, can we find out? Can we find out impulse, this impulsive reaction? Or only when particle comes to rest we can find out? Yes, we can find out. In that case, what happened? We should calculate the velocity v1. To make problem little bit, we should focus more on to get JH. No, I made it a test. Practically what happened? After collision, the particle may rebound. Okay, let it rebound. Then from here what happened? I'll write the velocity of the rebound. For that, I'll write quotient of restitution formula. I'll get this velocity. Then I'll get J1. No, don't think that particle come to rest, we can find out. We can find out even in other cases also. I'll stop class here only. Yeah. Okay, thank you all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.